that the goal is always a stage ahead of us. So as we progressively move towards our goal is progressively moving to us. Cause and effect. The only possible way of progress is by following an ideal that is always a stage ahead of us. If we don't have an ideal, a stage ahead of us, what happens? An ideal, let's go back to it. An ideal is something that you've idealized, you've imagined, you have thought of a new direction, a new thing. Now, if there's no new thing, what's coming in the future?
Nothing. We become
There you go.
complacent.
The same old thing, the same old past, because you're thinking from that old, the old you. If there's not a new you that's coming, you haven't created the destination, the new vision. The old you is still coming because it's always a growth. But the mistake is in not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. That's where the mistake is. The mistake is not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. And that growth must be the expansion of something that already exists in us. That's where we miss it. If Manuel would have said, no, I've got to wait for somebody else to do it for me, would your goal have happened? It was a steady growth of you seeing it. It had to flow through you, right? And that means you had to be the center, and then you had to move it forward for it to realize itself, right? Let's look at this. My mind is a center of divine operation. If I don't think that I'm the center of divine operation, I will continually progress my old self. And it's always a steady growth. The mistake is in not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. And that growth must be the expansion of something that already exists in us. And therefore implies our being what we are and where we are as its starting point. This growth is a continuous process. And we cannot do next month's growth without first doing this month's growth. That means I've got to get up today and I've got to act today to produce the thing that I want to see tomorrow. The mistake lies in not understanding it's a matter of growth to and through us. Chris, I don't know if you remember me telling you, you need to figure out what you want to see. You need to build a vision. If there's no vision, there's no direction. Why is it important to steadily work on the vision and idealizing your vision?
It's something to strive for.
Something you're striving for, and something that your responsibility is to continually to build it, continually adapt to it. Would you agree?
Yes.
And if you can't adapt to the goal and adapt to the new things you've got to do to have the goal, you don't get it. If you don't know what it is, there's nothing to adapt to. Who has to adapt to the new direction?
You do.
You do. And if you don't know what that is, we're stuck. Corey, there came a point in time you wanted to have a trading company. If you would not have adapted and got in harmony, that means go do the things that you've got to do to become that. Would you have been realizing that dream? Not even close. You would have stayed where? You were working, before you came here, you were at Verizon, right? How long ago was that? Okay. So 2 years ago, if you wouldn't have made the shift or changed you and the direction of you, because it's got to flow through you, that means you had to become and step into the action process of the new desired state, right where you were at. You had to do it. Nobody could change you, right? And if you didn't adapt to the action process of what you were idealizing, you wouldn't have been experiencing this, would you? You're already adapting.
I was fulfilling the role even when I was still at the sales job. I have a video of me. I took down a whiteboard and I was teaching my coworkers about options and stocks. And so I was already fulfilling the action. I was becoming the center of that before I left the sales job. And then people, places, plots, circumstances started to come to me and show up, and opportunities started to present themselves, and I took advantage of those opportunities.
So the want of this trading, you were at another business and you were teaching people what the trading was about. So again, here, you're not in harmony, right? You're doing one thing, but you're trying to act another. You're saying you're the Verizon sales, but something inside of you is wanting more and wanting to express more.
Yeah. And circumstances started to show up too. That was that was making me decide between one or the other. Conflict was happening because, I was getting in trouble with the sales job for putting more energy toward trading. So
What did your boss tell you? Your boss saw what you were doing and they came in. What did they tell you?
yeah, he told me don't talk about it anymore.
Yep. He said you need to focus on what?
Yeah, on the job. Even though everybody else was, watching movies on their phones and stuff, but
Yeah, but you were, but that other people were being distracted on their phones, but you were looking to express a new business, a
Yeah.
new line of business. So whenever you're showing them, they're going to start to want and desire a new line
Yeah.
of business,
Yeah.
right?
So the old paradigm was speaking through him, I think. My paradigm was speaking through him.
And told you to focus.
Yeah.
Back on what?
Back on the job.
Yep. Intervention is something of a higher order. Intervention is something of a higher order. There's something always trying to intervene and say, hey, we want more, we can do more. There's a spiritual essence about each and every one of us, inside of each and every one of us, that is wanting to expand and grow. Now, this persuasion is an inner effort of intense attention. Finally, something inside of you was so inspired that it moved you. If you would have denied that growth and you would have held it back, how do you think you would feel right now?
I would definitely have internal conflict because even at that time, I was bumping my head on the ceiling. So I had that itch where I knew that I wanted to do something bigger and I knew I wanted to do something more. So if I didn't pursue that, then I know that feeling would cause conflict inside of me and I wouldn't be happy.
Yep. Well done. It's everybody that's on the call. You guys seen the relationship between the old self, the old beliefs, and what needs to be done to walk into a new model?
Yes.
How many of you are denying the growth? How many of you understand what you have to do to grow? Not understanding that the movement has to be a conscious decision. The mistake is not in seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. People don't think they can do it because they don't see it immediately.